Hi, everybody. Jake Slebodnick for your hometown radio stations and Renda Digital TV. Once again with our high school football preview, the United Valley Lions. And our United Valley preview brought to you by Luther Ford in Homer City. Proud to bring you the Luther Ford Coaches Corner every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. on WDAD and WDADradio.com. Remember, since 1969, Coaches Corner presented by Luther Ford of Homer City. And yet again, we're here chatting with Coach Kevin Marabito. Coach, it feels like it was just yesterday. We were talking about the 2022 season. You were gearing up for your first year with two combined schools. Now that you have that first year out of the way, sort of look back on it, and what are some of the takeaways from last year?
I'll tell you what, people would ask me, but with the co-op coming in, it wasn't that tough. I mean, the kids really blended in together, played as a team, did things. I think the toughest part we had was finding the skill set of the Blacklick players. I mean, we had a couple coaches coming in from Blacklick, but still seeing how everyone fit in with the things that we do offensively and defensively took a little bit of time. But, as far as, the co-op itself, it was pretty smooth transition. I mean, I was relatively shocked of how easy it went. I mean, it went, early on our record didn't show it, but you could see we were getting better week in and week out. And, as a tail end of the season, we won those 3 games in a row. It was a big springboard coming into 2023.
That was my next point is week by week, game by game, you guys showed lots of improvement. What sort of went into that improvement in such a short amount of time?
I think it was just a trust factor. I mean, kids trusting one another, doing their jobs, one player not trying to do more than he can. I mean, from 2019 to 2021, we were playing kids at, upperclassmen, and, some of your so-called better players had to do a little bit more than what they normally would, and early on it was the same thing. I mean, Blacklick was the same way. Some of their players were trying to do more than what they could do. Once they found out that, you just play as a team, do what you can do, and that's really was the success we had. Whenever we learned that one guy doesn't have to do everything, and it started falling into place, and you could see it at the tail end. I mean, the toughest part we had was, we got that first win, and, things didn't work out as well that next game after, because it come down to, when you're losing a lot, it's easy to lose. And that was a part that we had to instill in them is how are we going to, take care of things week in and week out. No team, because you get one win, is going to lay down for you. And, they found that out after, the game after Portage. We didn't play well. And, then all of a sudden they started talking and, everything fell into place for us.
You end that season on the 3-game win streak, and I was talking to senior players, very humble about it, but how does this sort of set a tone coming into 2023 on that 3-game win streak?
Well, really it means nothing now. I mean, it helps you because now, we see what that feeling is like to win, and it really did springboard us into the off season. This was probably our best turnout ever in an off season with the commitment level that we had and everything that we did. It's good. I mean, it really helps you as far as your mindset. But as far as now, we're 0-0. I mean, we have a tough opener with Northern Cambria. I mean, defending District 6 champions. They return a lot of guys up front. They're going to be very tough. We have to be ready.
Is there any advantage to facing the defending District 6 champion after, all these months off? They're coming in with a new set of players. Same with you. Is there, what are some of the challenges and some of the easy hurdles to overcome? Maybe not easy hurdles, but what are some of the challenges that you guys have to overcome in going up against the defending D6 champion?
Well, we just have to believe we can go in there and do what we do. I mean, that's the biggest thing. We got to do what we can do. We can't worry about them. But, when I look at Northern Cambria with the players they have coming back, they return pretty much their whole offensive defensive lines, which is very tough. They have some skilled kids coming back. We just have to go in and play our game. I mean, you're playing at Northern Cambria, which is also a tough place to play. I mean, we just got to be ready from the opening kickoff and do all the little things. But it's a good opener for us. I mean, it's going to tell us where we're at that stage.
One last time, flashing back to last year, you closed out the season with a win over Conemaugh Valley, who is a newcomer to the conference, along with Conemaugh Township. Looking back to last year, what are some things that you noticed that Conemaugh Valley can bring into the Heritage Conference?
I'll tell you what, it's our toughness and our grit. I mean, I go back to my early days in the system back in 1984. Playing up here. My days at Conemaugh Valley, they are at Ferndale when I was head coach there. They're very hard-nosed kids, and it's gonna, it's going to help our league. I mean, you're going to have to prepare for them. There's no easy team coming in. I mean, Conemaugh Township coming in. I mean, there's nothing easy. You know, last year we had Portage come in. You know, they're a perennially good football team. So it's going to be a tough league from top to bottom.
You brought 4 players with you here this year. 2 of them growing up in Blacklick Valley / Nanny Glow. 2 of them are players that you had the chance to take out throughout their entire high school career. Braden, Isaac, Gino, and Clint, what are some of the qualities, like leadership qualities, they each of them bring here to the field?
The one, you know, Clint Safko, he's our silent leader. I mean, it's hard to get Clint to say a whole heck of a lot, but he leads by example on the field. Isaac, he just does what he does. I mean, he goes out, he gives you what he has, and, you know, performs week in and week out. I mean, he has probably the toughest job. He's got to lead the offense, you know, and also he has, you know, he calls our coverages on defense. You know, Braden Brown, I mean, he's the one that, you know, when you look for an ultimate team player. I mean, I know Braden wanted to be a quarterback, but it come down to, you know, if we come into a pinch and, you know, something would happen to Isaac, we have Braden that can come in. But Braden was the type whatever I can do to help the team, you know, and that's what it takes to be good, and that's what Braden brought to us. You know, I mean, he's at a wide receiver, but you could see him in the backfield, you could see him at quarterback. I mean, but he's one that, you know, whatever we had asked for him to do, he's doing, you know, and it wasn't, well, I don't think I want to play anywhere else but quarterback. It was, hey, whatever it takes to win, and that's what he wants. Gino DePaulo, I mean, Gino's just he's another quiet young man, but goes out and performs. I mean, he's going to be a quality receiver, has some skill sets that's really going to help us.
A lot of people might consider United Valley a sleeper team this year just because, you know, record last year, they see the youth that you guys are bringing up. They might consider you guys a sleeper team. What's going to make you guys exciting to watch this year?
Well, I think with everything we have coming back, I mean, when we're returning 8 on offense, 9 on defense, you know, it's there. But, you know, the scary part is we're probably going to have the bullseye on our back, you know, and that's the one. I mean, when you go back, I mean, I was looking at banners at Blacklick. The last time that they really competed for any championships was 1983, 1986. I mean, I know they've had a couple pretty good years from there, but the last time that you look up in the rafters that they have a banner, you know, how are we going to handle that? Because we don't know how to win like that yet. So now you got to do that. You know, us 2008, you know, 2018 we were in the district title game, but didn't have success from there. It's the hardest part we have now is understanding what it's going to take to continually stay on top, you know, if that's what it is, and understand what it takes to win week in and week out.
Coach, best of luck this season. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Jake.
Coach Kevin Marabito, the United Valley Lions, our United Valley preview brought to you by Luther Ford in Homer City. Proud to bring you the Luther Ford Coaches Corner every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. on WDAD and WDADradio.com. On that show, you'll hear Coach Marabito throughout the weeks as well, giving thoughts on his team. And remember, since 1969, Coaches Corner presented by Luther Ford in Homer City. For the coach and for the United Valley Lions, I'm Jake Slebodnick for Renda Digital TV.